Julianna, right here. Obviously, it's been a bit since we last saw you compete in the octagon. So I guess just how's life been having that belt back and both in and out of the octagon, and just how's camp been as a whole preparing for Kayla?
Everything is great. I feel good. I feel full of energy. It should be illegal to feel this good. I'm really looking forward to Saturday night. Camp was amazing, and we are firing on all cylinders.
You know, it feels like the main event, obviously, Sean and Merab is a fight that everyone, they're excited for. But it feels like this co-main event has been what has been building this card. Especially, whenever you and Kayla are on screen together, it kind of just generates conversation and clicks. So have you felt like you specifically have been carrying the promotion for this fight card? And do you feel that your fight has kind of taken some of the spotlight away from the main event?
No, I believe that when you work so hard, and I've been fighting for the promotion since 2013, when you work so hard to get to climb the mountain to UFC gold, and you're finally at the top of the heap, this is what comes with that territory. I have an opportunity, I have an obligation as a UFC champion to promote my fight and to get people interested in watching me fight. And these are the opportunities that I was fighting so hard for. So for me, it's something that comes very naturally for me because this is what I've been building towards in my career my entire life.
Obviously, a lot of people consider Amanda the greatest female fighter ever, but maybe she didn't do a lot of promotion. She didn't, talk the talk, as some would say. So given that you have a dance partner that does want to talk back to, as some extent, and her accolades and the interest she brings, do you feel like this is one of the more talked about women's title fights we've had in the UFC?
Well, it's just good when you have somebody that can string a sentence together, that can speak the language, and that, is willing to banter back and forth with you. And so it's refreshing. It's refreshing.
And obviously, even when she was in PFL, people have been asking for Kayla to, come to the UFC and fight for the title right away. A lot of people thought it'd maybe be Amanda, some thought it would be you, but it is you. You're the one that gets to challenge Kayla Harrison in her first 5-round fight in the UFC. So I guess what do you make of her as an opponent, and I guess just the interest from the fans and wanting to see her fight for the title for so long?
I think that the UFC is the greatest promotion that there ever was, and they do a really good job of creating the best fights possible and making sure that the fans get what they want. And this was a fight that the fans wanted, and it was the biggest fight in the division. And it makes a lot of sense that even though she only had 2 fights in the UFC, that she was able to come in and get a title shot based off of her being the 2-time champion and the accolades that she possesses. So it makes sense, and I'm obviously happy once I found out that it was not going to be Amanda after my win against Raquel. I moved on to the next greatest thing since sliced bread, and that was Kayla Harrison. So I welcomed the challenge.
What was it like working with Max Snyder to prepare for Kayla?
It was awesome. Max is a Chicago native. He grew up all his life in Chicago, and so for him to be able to come back to his roots, I think that it was great for him to be able to come back and to represent the people in the city of Chicago. So I know that was one of his main goals. And then also, when it comes to being able to say that you made it, he's coaching against somebody that, he had previously worked with, but against a team that, was back then, something that was like this big, huge thing for him as a younger gentleman. And so for him now to be able to, coach against them, I know that it's a nice nod for himself to be like, I made it, man. And so I know that it's a really special time for him as well.
And then just last one for me, Kayla said the only chance that you had to win is to turn this into a brawl. So I guess, how do you see this fight actually playing out on Saturday?
Well, if she said it's going to be a brawl, then I guess I'll give her what she wants. No, I see the fight playing out with me getting my hand raised. I don't know how, I don't know when. I just know that I am very dangerous everywhere. I have multiple avenues to win this fight. I can win off of my back, I can win off of the cage, and I can win off of my feet. And having multiple avenues and multiple paths to victory is what makes me more dangerous, whereas she has only one shot to beat me, which is laying on top of me for 25 minutes.
Julianna over here, you just mentioned that you like having an opponent that banters with you a little bit. She was in here a few minutes ago, and she said that she was pretty unbothered by your trash talk, that you were just throwing spaghetti against the wall, and that you had to overcompensate for your fighting skills with mic skills. Do you think this is having an effect on her at all, or do you think that her being like an Olympic-level athlete with her mentality, like that it's not having an effect on her like some of your other opponents?
I am not trash talking. I'm simply defending myself. This all started before I even knew who Kayla Harrison was. When I beat Amanda Nunes, I saw this blonde girl sitting cage side, freaking out, cussing and having all sorts of obscenities to say about me for beating Amanda Nunes and throwing a gigantic wrench in her plans. So she's been trash talking me for a long time, long before I even knew who she was. And then it created more of a problem for me when she said that it was going to be the media's fault. It was going to be the media's fault for having blood. They were going to have blood on their hands for you guys giving me the delusion to think that I could hang with her and stand across the octagon from her. Then her agent had made a comment that she was going to win by murder and that she was going to catch some murder charges because she was going to murder me. These are the things me talking back is my way of defending myself. And I believe that, she can say that it's trash talk, but it's like I'm just responding to the things and the allegations and these horrendous comments that she has made about me. She needs to take accountability for the things that she said, and it's my job to make her do that on Saturday night.
Julianna, over here, you're a two-time champ. You know how to bounce back. What advice did you give your teammate Bilal Muhammad after his loss at UFC 315?
I didn't think Bilal lost. I watched that fight and I was like, yeah, we got it, and he won. And then when they called it for the other guy, kudos to him. But I thought that Bilal won, so I didn't really give him any pep talk except for the fact that, I'm sorry, my brother, you got robbed. So.
And on another note, one of the cool things you've done in your life is give a speech at your daughter's pep rally after winning the title again. How special is it to inspire people that young and have a belt for you and one for your daughter as well?
I think the most special thing about that in general is the fact that I'm the first woman to give birth and win a world title. I'm the only woman to give birth and win a world title. I'm the only woman to give birth and win a title a second time after losing the belt and coming back and being able to get that gold a second time. So there's no other woman that can say that, and I can say that. And I think that being able to inspire my daughter, inspire a little boy or a little girl to pick up martial arts, doesn't have to be fighting, but anything, taekwondo, judo, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, boxing, whatever it may be, if I can inspire that next generation and get more eyes on the sport and get them to want to be able to believe that they can achieve anything that they want, then I've done my job as a champion.
Julianna, right here. You got invited out to the New York Giants practice yesterday, even got your own jersey. As a massive Giants fan, I have to ask, how was that experience and how did that all come together?
That was an incredible experience, one that I'll never forget. I am so grateful to the New York Giants. I am a massive football fan. Alex Spanos is a head strength and conditioning trainer at the Northwestern facility for the Wildcats, and I train there, several days a week, going out to Evanston to get my strength and conditioning with the football team. And so to be able to go on with the New York Giants, of course, Russell Wilson was a long-time staple of the Seattle Seahawks, and I'm born and raised in Washington, so I was super stoked to meet him. Jameis Winston and I are both sponsored by Guaranteed Rate, and so we're in the same family there with the same sponsor. So to meet these guys and to get to see their practice and to see how excited they were, I know that I'm looking at them the same way that they're looking at me, and that's in awe of what they do. I am one single fighter, but watching them out there together, it felt like 200 fighters all on one field, and they have to fight for every inch and every yard, and I know that they know what it takes in order to get locked inside that octagon, because they got to put it all out on the field when they're in season and when they're practicing. So fighting is very brutal. Football is also very brutal. Two trains coming head to head on a train collision is not easy to do. And much like fighting, it's very similar in that sense, where you're having to fight for every inch. And so I love NFL football. I love football in general, or all sports. So to be able to go out there, it was a very special time and an unforgettable experience.
Is Jameis Winston as funny as he seems in person?
Yeah, he really is. He was hilarious. He had me cracking up. He's very funny.
All right, and last one for me. Your former opponent, Valentina Shevchenko, had a lot of nice things to say about you in the lead up to this fight, and feels like you have everything you need to win this fight. How is it to get such high praise from a former opponent and one of the best female fighters of all time, and could you see yourself fighting her again?
That respect goes both ways. It's mutual. When everybody asks me who my favorite female fighter is, I always say Valentina Shevchenko. I am in awe. I'm enamored with her fighting style. I'm in awe of her as a fighter. I think that she is awesome. She can speak like 20 different languages. She can dance like nobody's business. She can fight her ass off. Like I'm a fan, and to hear her say that was very nice.
Here, Juliana over here. Juliana, you've been really vocal about your confidence going into this fight. What gives you that strong belief that you're going to come up on top?
Well, the last time you guys counted me out, you guys had to take it up the you-know-what. So I think that's one of the things. And I think that the preparation, and I've been doing this for a long time. I've been fighting since 2008. And when you put that much blood, sweat, and tears into something, and you're that dedicated and that passionate, there's only good things that can happen. And I think that that's what gives me the confidence.
Yeah, also, Kayla just said you don't excel in fighting, but also said this isn't personal. Do you believe it's personal?
I'm getting locked into a steel cage and getting in a fist fight with some girl that's trying to take my head off of my shoulders. It's absolutely personal.
Thank you.
Juliana, right over here. You were recently on UFC Live with Kayla, and you reminded her that she had never made 135.0. Is that at all a concern for you this week?
It's not a concern. I know that she's going to make weight. She's a professional, and she's going to come in at 135.0 come hell or high water. With that being said, this is going to be her first test at 135 pounds for 5 rounds. That's 25 minutes of fighting. So I think that's going to be more of the concern.
And also on that episode, you had mentioned some of the lack of respect that you feel like you get. Do you think a victory over Kayla Harrison, given the way that people see her right now, do you think that would earn you a lot of the respect that you feel like is missing?
I mean, I hope so. We'll see. I can't say. I thought that, beating the greatest of all time was going to give me that respect, and it didn't. So you never know. I say this often, but it's so true. It's never enough. So, it doesn't matter what you do. It's never enough. Everybody's always going to want more from you.
And last for me, another quote from you was that you had nothing to lose and everything to gain in this fight. Can you just kind of reiterate that and tell us, how you feel with this matchup?
Yeah, it was told to me that I'm a 6-1 underdog, and being a 6-1 underdog as a champion is very disrespectful, number one. Number two, everybody's counting me out, Out of 6 people, only one of them thinks that I'm going to win the fight. And that is putting me in a position where, since you think I'm going to lose in 5 seconds and you think that I'm already out of this fight, then I have nothing to lose and everything to gain. I'm obsessed with the process, not so much concerned about the outcome. I'm enjoying the process and obsessed with enjoying the process. And when you put so much focus, she is in a position where she has to and she should and you better, and it's already done. And so those are the kinds of limits that she's putting on herself of you should and you can and you will and you're going to, and it's already finished and it's already happened. The reality is that when you put that much pressure on yourself, and when you're so focused on you have to beat her in 10 seconds and it doesn't happen, that can kind of play into your mentality and the way that you fight, whereas everybody's already counting me out. So when you put me in a position of nothing to lose and everything to gain, that makes me a very dangerous woman.
Just going off that, Juliana, as you kind of say, it seems like the goalposts always get moved further back for you, right? So what do you think the headlines will read Sunday morning when you win this fight? Do you think they're going to give you your credit, or are they going to say Kayla Harrison wasn't that good and she's a PFL fighter and things like that?
I think that it'll put me on another planet. It'll put me in the stratosphere.
Juliana over here, how would you describe to share the training passion of MMA with Mike Valle, Jaula Bahamontes, Jair, Belal? I want to know if you ever met Michael Morales before with them too.
Yes, Michael Morales came to the gym, and when he trained with us a few times, I was absolutely, talk about enamored. I was in awe. Yeah, Michael Morales is the real deal, Holyfield. That guy is legit. And yes, Mike Valle is one of my coaches, and I was the first to bring a title to his gym. And I am very proud to come from a small, tight-knit community in Chicago, and being able to be training partners with, Bilal and Bahamondes. It's special thing that we got going on, and I'm really grateful for having such a tight-knit team. We help each other, we support each other, we love each other, and I think that that's a very important thing to have around you.
Were you impressed with Michael's performance in UFC Vegas, or not really? Because you already met him before.
No, I said it. I told my trainer, I told my jiu-jitsu coach, I said, I don't bet. I don't know anything about betting. I'm not a big bettor. But if I was, I would bet the house on this kid because I guarantee you he's going to win. And so he won, and I was like, told ya. So, yeah, no, I wasn't surprised at all. It was very impressive.
Thank you so much and good luck.
Thank you so much.